Alrighty then, welcome to tonight's stream everyone. My name is Badview. This evening we are going to be playing some Galactic Civilizations 2. I know it's been a couple weeks since I played it, but alas, life is life, so we'll get back to it. Where we previously left off, we were about to start establishing some trade routes, and we were going to start establishing more dominance and cutting off several of the other allies. I should say enemies, and their allies from some pretty lucrative trade routes and start cutting them off domestically from more space that their civilization can go to. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. I also wanted to let you all know I am also joined by the wonderful Codex. She is also a fellow streamer here on Twitch. And if you want to say hello, Codex.
Hello.
She's in it just for a little while. It's pretty late where she's at right now. It is wonderful 10 o'clock p.m. here in South Carolina, and it is 4 o'clock in... Where are you located?
I'm in Belgium.
Belgium.
So, yeah, Europe.
So without further ado, let's hop into it. Hey guys. Alright, so here we go. So... There we go. Let's go into load. I want to make sure everything's actually running. 15.
It finally loaded on my screen. There we
Okay,
go.
hold on 1 second. Shit's loading. Oh, hey, it's Fallen!
Did no one invite me to the party?
Oh.
Oh my goodness. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Fallen. This is wonderful.
Hello!
So, I am waiting on stuff to load right now. Sometimes it takes a little while to load.
So nobody told me it was Daylight Savings Day. I mean, I'm slightly annoyed.
Really? Man, it's been like that for like 2 weeks now, for us.
I never know. It just randomly pops up for me. I never get involved.
Oh.
I'm always left out of the room.
Let's see.
There. Oh.
I'm so alone.
There we go. Alright. Pardon for all of the confusion and delay. Fallen, feel free to ask questions and whatnot if you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? Just because there will absolutely be times that either of you will just be like, what am I looking at? How is he able to decipher all this shit? So, basically, what we're looking at right now, what I'm talking about right now, is we're looking at the technology tree. So, the technology tree is how it's kind of like the research topics in Age of Empires when you are looking at, doing the Bodkin era or different armors for your infantry or for archers and whatnot. This is for your entire civilization. It either goes, you have like domestic, you have xenophobic, and then you have like different, mixtures, combinations of the two of them, and then you also have military. So like right now, we're currently working on cultural domination. We've got 16 weeks, and each week is a turn. So we have 16 turns until we finalize cultural domination and learn it as a civilization. Then from there, we go on to choosing our next topic, which would be, I don't know, we'll come to that later. But anyway, so we'll choose that. So done. So now, the screen that I'm looking at right now, we're looking at the planet surface. The planet surface shows all the different pieces, all the different parts, or complexes that we've built on each world, and it's different per world. So, like on this one, it's got multiple different places. I'm not going to bore you with this one because you're going to see a lot of them, so it's just get used to seeing different ones. So we're going to click done. So right now, we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Chimichanga Federation, and our fearless leader, Tacos and Burritos, is currently dominating the fuck out of this galaxy. So, and yes, by the way, both of you, that is the name of our civilization, and that is the name of our fearless leader.
Those are the best names ever. Oh my
So,
God. I love this already.
So now, what I'm doing is I'm actually zooming out on the map, and what you're seeing is like what we can do is we can go all the way into the planet, and you can see the planet up close and personal. Or you can zoom out, and the further you zoom out, the more you have in your field of view, but also the more planets you can see. But if you start zooming really far out, the details go down. But at the same time, you also get a really cool insight that I didn't learn until like 6 months into playing the game, that each one of these planets has like this, it's basically a ring. So this ring, okay, so each one of these rings that you see on the screen represents the class. So whenever you have a planet, so like let's just select this one. So Vorad 3 is a class 10. The higher the class, the more inhabitable and the more resource friendly and population supporting that planet is. Meaning that if you colonize that planet, there's more space for you to basically fit installations on said planet, rather than it would be, so like this one, Zalank 3 is a class 4. It would have probably maybe 6 spots, maybe if that. But then a little further north, you're talking Bristow 4. Bristow 4 is a class 15. He'll have like 20 slots. The more slots there are, the more research centers you can get. The more manufacturing centers, the more marketing places. I mean, there's so many more things you can actually fit per planet on the higher class planets. The lower class planets, I'm starting to kind of shift my tactics. So like the lower class planets, instead of getting eaten up by some of the smaller other races within the game, those planets end up getting eaten up by end up being like my resource, my economy builders. Those are the happy farmers. I make happiness centers and I make farms, and people just farm the shit out of those planets. But then like planets like Bristow 4 is more of a technology and more of a manufacturing center where you can start really pump out ships. You can start researching technologies incredibly fast. That way it offsets the technology. So then down here in the corner, if you're watching, down here at the bottom left, so it looks like it shows our Empire Treasury. We are pulling in 512 billion credits a week, and we have an expenditure of 329 billion credits a week, which nets us a positive of 123 billion credits per week, and we have in our treasury presently 10 trillion credits, which is really good. So am I lost either of you?
No, don't worry.
Okay, cool.
Just nod and smile.
Yeah, nod and smile. All right, so
Best way to approach it.
we're gonna do a turn. So right now, our empire represents 31% of the galactic population while doing 68% of the research. Our military rating is at 0 because we don't have a military. Our technology rating is at 603 out of 100, and our economy rating is at 248 out of 100. Our population has changed by 13.2 billion people over the past year, and our approval rating is at 71%. So, pretty good. Alright, so now, so as GNN breaking news, we completed a couple things, and now we are, let's see, a colony ship completed on Romulus, and a freighter completed on Taquito. Okay, cool. So we're going to go to the colony ship. We're going to launch him. And okay, so then let me explain another little section. So down here in the bottom right next to the turn or the find button, you'll see it has little circles of different colors. So right now, this box that I'm dragging along, this orange, or the burnt orange, light burnt orange, excuse me, that is our civilization. That is the color of the Badview, or the Chimichanga Federation. So, but then if you go down here to the pink or the orange, you got green, you got light blue, and you got red. Each one of those represents a different civilization, and it also represents their area of influence. So your area of influence also is determined by your technology, by your military, by basically your entire economy stats. The greater those stats are, the more influence you have in a bigger radius around each of your planets, around each of your systems that you control. Then, if you're also looking at the map, the entire map is black with cross-hatched teal lines. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy on when I'm looking at it on. Let's see. Let me go into theater mode. It's a little more difficult to see, but it's teal. It's teal cross-hatched lines with a black background. But then there's a slightly grayer area that's kind of like, it looks like about 3/4 of the map. That is the area that my spaceships can travel to. I've researched enough within the hyperdrives and different pieces of drive technology that allow me to go that far into the galaxy. I should say the higher the technology is with your ships, the further they can go. But also, it also depends on where your bases are, or where your planets that you've colonized, where those are located. So whenever you have one of those, the more star systems you have located all over the place, the further your range is. Technically, you don't own all of that space because there will be planets that you won't colonize, but you'll have all of it technically counts as a quote-unquote resupply area. So you basically will fly past it, resupply, and it does it automatically. There's no prompt or anything, it just happens automatically, but it will basically fly by the planet. Your ship is quote resupplied, and it can go even further than originally before. So anyway, back to the game. Alright, so we are going to go to colony ship, and this colony ship is going to go to Bristow. So as you can see, he moved from Romulus 2, which is a class 18, and he moved that far in this turn. That far. Not very far. This one, it's going to take him to move all the way to Bristow. It's going to take him almost 10 turns to get to Bristow. That's how the distance, that's how far he's traveling. These motherfuckers are going far. Okay, so we're going to zoom out again. I'll give you another look. So here's Romulus 2, the planet that we just sent this colony ship off of. I'll let you look and see what it actually looks like on the inside. So Romulus 2, all of these individual spaces are all spaces that are places that either are built and or are being built upon. So we have a market center, we have an entertainment network, we have a research center that's being built, we have another market center, a traditional factory, another traditional factory, a cultural exchange center, starport. This one is, I want to say, yeah, this one we are pulling in, we have a 99% approval rating. We are producing 10 million tons a week in fuel off this planet. And I think this planet is actually really this one is really in the red. There are a lot of planets. I'll show you. Let's see, planet ship list. Nope, that's not it. Needs to miss. Nope. Dang it. There we go. Okay. So Romulus 2. So it is pulling right now. They have a 7 billion credit per week deficit that they're running. But they also are building a ton of stuff at the same time. So because they're building a lot of stuff, that sucks up a lot of the social budget on the local planet. You can see it breaks it down by approval rating per planet, what they're currently building, if they have a starport, and what they're building in the starport. And then it shows you like your planetary income per planet. I have some that the lowest I've got is negative 7 billion credits a week, and then the highest is 20 billion credits a week in profit. And so then we can also list it by class. Romulus 2 is my highest class, as not the highest population, but it is doing the most work. It will raise up and it will level out later on. It's fine. We're in the green. It doesn't matter. We're in the black. I know I just said 2 different colors for budgetary reasons. Whatever. I'm not an economist. Sue me. So right now we are now sitting on $11 trillion in the budget office, or in the treasury, I should say. So, all right. So we got 2 planets on our lower border that looks like they need to be colonized. They need to be given some freedom. Where are you heading? You're heading up there. Okay, so basically what my strategy is right now, I'll let you guys... yeah, I really wish, Fallen. I really wish that would work. Yeah, nuke them all.
Just get it over with.
Yeah. Well, that it will take a lot of time to do that. Here, let me do something really quick. I need to...
Never mind the diplomacy.
Or the morals. Wow.
Exactly. Just
Well,
get it.
morals actually do play into this because it if you are, it depends on. You can play evil. You can also play neutral, and you can play pacifist. It's similar to Fallen, how the Paragon and Renegade options you can do in Mass Effect, except this one is it's like. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. We just colonized a planet. All has progressed smoothly with colonization of your new planet. You may enter a name below. And we're just going to keep the name because it's too difficult. I'm not even going to bother with that. Alright, so now it says, search parties from the colony vessel have reported existence of strange worm-like beings on the planet that feed off the soil's nutrients. While not the most advanced form of life we've seen, these planetary forms seem to congregate in small, scattered colonies and can communicate through seismic variations in the soil they are rooted in. How should we deal with the creatures? So we have one option. Cassarius 1 is here, and you guys can read those options. So, each one of these has a benefit and a negative. Typically it lists the benefit or the negative. So like if you're going the pacifist route, you lose 13% of the planet quality of the entire planet. If you go the evil or the renegade route, you earn 13% of the planet quality. If you go middle of the route, nothing changes. Basically this happens a lot. Almost every planet you colonize, something like this happens, where there is something that needs your attention and you click on it, and all of this aggregates into how not only your civilization is viewed by the other opponents, but also by how it's viewed and how your actions are responded to by your own citizens. So sometimes if you are too good, your citizens don't like that and they will rebel and your approval rating will go down, and which means you just have to do a couple bad things and they like you again, and vice versa. Or if you're too good, other civilizations that are known to be of the evil nature or the renegade nature, they will team up against you. They will actually officially declare war upon you. So we're just going to go the pacifist route. No big deal. So all of these spaces, all of these need something to do. Alright, so this one is a class 26 planet. Cassarius 1. So we're going to start off by doing the starport and the Restaurant of Eternity. This incredible restaurant will help spread our cultural influence throughout the galaxy, while also supporting and boosting the local economy due to its exorbitant prices customers will have to pay.
Capitalism.
Okay,
Population.
I'm starting to feel busy, so I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Alright, bud.
Ooh. Yep, I'm slowly fading.
Well,
God.
just hang in there and we'll,
Well, I'm saying you were born, Gabe. It's very interesting.
Falling into unconsciousness.
yeah.
Falling.
I am literally falling.
Alright, so we have a freighter here.
Yeah, I'll see you later, alright?
Alright, bud. See you later.
Have fun. Good night.
Night. Alright, so... There we go. Alright, so now, what I'm looking at right now is Freighter 99. Freighter 99 is actually sitting right in the clutches of the Thalian Empire. And we are working on building an alliance with the Thalian Empire. Hold on, my phone is blowing up for some reason. Okay, there's that. I apologize, my phone is blowing up. So many retweets, so many retweets. Thank you all. Alright, so now if you're looking at the screen, one thing you will notice is that Thalia, or the Thalian Empire, everyone has to have a capital planet. Similar to how every country has a capital, every state, or at least here in the United States, every state has its own state capital. It's the center of government, it's the center of everything. Every civilization has to have one. So typically the easiest and the best place to trade from is the capital. So it pretty much goes, so if we go up, follow this trade route goes right back to our capital. So Taquito already has an established trade route with Thalia. So we already have an established trade route. What we're trying to do is establish another one on the same route, which will earn us a lot of money. So we're going to send him over there. That'll take a couple more weeks. We'll go another return. And okay, so then another thing that you can also do in this thing, or in this game, is you can mine asteroids for money. I'm not going to get too deep into that one. It basically is you can mine asteroids On each asteroid is a colony. Each colony is its own individual seller. If your influence is waning and another civilization's influence is gaining and overtakes, you have a set amount of weeks to either rectify the influence issue, or they will basically start selling their goods to the more dominant influencing galactic civilization. Or vice versa, is that if your influence takes over one of your opponents, they will start trading with you as well. So it's best to basically start out with a couple space miners in the beginning of the game and just literally set them on autopilot, and then try to colonize nearby planets as far as you can for as long as you can. That way you not only will start to create this umbrella of planets that really spread out, but it also gives you growing space as well. It gives you a lot more area. It gives you an immediate boost of funds. It's really cheap to do, and it's cheap, it's low cost, and it's also very safe because there's no trade routes that are required to do it. There's no overhead to do it. Everything is at cost for them. So there's nothing that you're having to pay as a civilization. So I know that's really getting in depth, but whatever. As I said, this is a very in-depth game.
Well, actually, if there's an ending point to the game, it's most likely like influencing the entire galactic map, I assume.
There's multiple ways of winning. So you can, I have it set to where it's conquer only because I don't like some of the other ones. There's some of them where it's randomly generated, where if you have to find relics, and if you find the relic, or if you find a set number of relics, your civilization wins, and the time goes fast. It's not like in Warhammer where you have strategic points that you have, like, either side has to capture, and whoever has the larger amount, over 50% of the strategic capture points, wins. It's not like that. This is completely randomly generated, and I've had some where 2/3 or 4/5 of, that's a large percentage, either like 2/3 or even half of the relics needed spawn or are placed within my known limits of my star systems. I collect those, and then I'm like, Jesus, it only took me half an hour. But then there's other ones where I'm 2.5, maybe 4 hours into a game, and then the other civilizations then capture them. And then I'm like, oh, crap, I'm never going to get to those things in time. So I do complete domination, so I actually have to take over and destroy all of the other civilizations.
Wow, I assume that's like a long-term game then.
It can be. I've gotten it down to somewhat of a science where it's not like how radio does it, where when you are let's see, a colony ship, you're really far out there. I'll put him in there. So what you're actually about to see right now is I'm telling a colony ship to take over this tiny planet next to a bunch of red asteroids. So these are mining bases on asteroids. I'll zoom in on them. This planet will then create an influence sphere in this solar system or in this star system, which will in turn grant me the loyalty of these 4 mining bases, which will give me even more resources to use. But to answer that question, it can take a while, but basically what I'm currently doing is I am not spending any money whatsoever on any military budget whatsoever. I'm just spending enough so that I can build a fleet of normal commercial and governmental ships that I can do researching, I can do exploration, I can do colonization and trading, and that's it. The reasoning why is because all of those ships cost pennies on the dollar to not only operate, but to fly and to fly. So let's see, economic, happiness, influence, economic. Okay, so that one's going to be really easy. Okay, so we just completed... Go ahead.
Do the other civilizations have a military?
Yes.
Because,
yes.
Aren't you afraid you're going to get attacked or something?
Not really. I'm sure I will be attacked, but it's... Right now, the way things are progressing, let's see. I'm gonna do alliances. So let's see. Down here, we'll go to where is it? Stats and graphs. Okay, so that's dumb. Okay, so right now, here in the main bar, you're about to see it in just a second. The main bar lists like population. So right now I'll list population and I'll do military. Right now, no one has a military. I don't know exactly, like, it doesn't show me what they have. It just tells me if there is a military buildup. This is another way you can also take a cue from the game itself and whatnot. It's not really cheating itself. It's using an in-game mechanic, but it is. The game will tell you when there is when there are other players or the other opponents are having the buildup of arms. Once that kicks off, then that means that there will be an escalation in pretty much everything. That's when the boundary lines will like really be drawn in stone. That's when trade routes get severed. That's when traders end up getting shot down in the middle of the cosmos. But right now, everything's quote unquote peaceful. The Red Empire up here, we are unfriendly with them. They are naturally unfriendly. They do not like other people. Their race is, from the very beginning, their race is hostile to anything else. They are incredibly antagonistic, and they will attack anything on sight. So we've been working for like the past 100 turns or 200 turns on eliminating or cutting off their base. So on the star map, each one of those little dots you see on the little star map is a planet or a star system. And within each star system, there are planets, there are asteroids that can be mined, there's ways that you can gain wealth. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating an inverted umbrella, or I should say like a mushroom cap, underneath him, cutting him off from any resources that he may gain from these really, really wealthy planets that I've been able to colonize from. And he's not able to cut through because his sphere of influence, since it has not grown, he has no ability to travel outside of it, or at least travel out significantly farther than it. So,
It really is like an example of divide and conquer.
yes.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Oh. It's really, it's kind of the opposite of the Age of Empires version on war, because I mean, from what I remember, I could be remembering it wrong. In Age of Empires, you don't really know, or didn't really know what the enemy was up to until you got out of the fog of war and actually saw the army. But here you actually get all the stats, like, okay, there's an increase in the there is an increase in with this and this and this population. Have to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty nice as you can anticipate some of the stuff that's going to happen.
Yeah. You can also, there's the United Council. So it's kind of like the UN that we have on Earth. You have the UN, which like they make these policies and different stuff that, supposedly should matter to all countries. Whether or not a country pays attention to it is their own problem, whatever. But down here, like, it shows, like, right now, like, my population is just taking off. You can see down here the orange bar. It's really difficult. I am sorry that it is a little more difficult for you to see on yours. It's a little not very clear.
No, I can see it. I've got it on full screen.
Okay. But basically, the intermingled bars that you can see down below, it's not, in all honesty, it's not very much clearer for me, but whatever. Each one of those bars represents the total population count of the other civilizations. Right now, it's looking like I have the amount of population of multiple of them combined. Then you can show the economy. So, like, how is others, economies stacking up? So right now, I am working on building the Alterians, the Thalians. I'm working on building the Thalians as an ally. So right now, what I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to trade with them. But when I'm trading with them, I'm also boosting them economically, which is building them up, which is allowing them to expand, so on and so forth.
Go wrong and then blow up in your face.
Technically, yes, but it is the problem is that there are a lot of times where it's happened to me before where the AIs aren't, they're predictable, but then they're not predictable. Because the reason why I say that is because sometimes if you are trading with them, or at least trading with them on a very, very long basis, sometimes their economy gets very addicted to it. So if they do something, or if I do something to sever the trade relationship, I set up a trade embargo. What ends up happening is that their economy will either stagnate or it will go into a complete shutdown. Which means external trade that they have focused on they've focused on other things, which they have pulled away all these resources that they cannot recoup at their current state. And so it takes them either a very, very long time to recoup all of those lost costs into building back all of those lost costs, or they just have to eat it and they never regain it back. Second,
wow, this goes pretty deep actually. Didn't expect that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then second is that when you have some of these partners like these guys down here, when you start building up a military, the military eats up a ton of a budget. I think there was one, it took me, I think I did 8 streams, like 8 3-hour streams on it, I think. We've entered a period of enhanced economic activity. Entrepreneurs and industrialists throughout the galaxy are experiencing great success. Tax revenue is much higher than it was before. We expect the economy to continue to climb for a while! Exclamation point. Let's see. Okay. Alright. So, let me pull it out full screen just to make sure if anybody's chatting. Nobody is. Okay. So, back to what I was saying about the military. The military will eat into the budget because they are massive I build very, very large ships. I tend to go for destroyers, for dreadnoughts, for capital ships. The ships that you can send in a massive fleet and no one can stand in your way. Period. That's just kind of like the way I do it. I guess it's very American of me. Maybe.
It's a very overpowering tactic.
Where I protect my allies, but I make a point to before I send in my invasion forces, I destroy everything in my path. I typically go for salt the earth, burn the crops, kill everything approach during my battle plans, just because it makes things not only easier, but it makes things a lot less short. I know it's very cold and callous, but war isn't kind, so whatever.
If you don't make the decisions, your opponents will.
Yep. I'm not saying it's like there's many leaders that have had to make those choices in humanity's existence on this earth, and it just depends on how history looks back upon them. Sometimes they are looked back and revered as heroes and as visionaries and as whatnot.
But they do say that history is written by the victors.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So here's a really cool example. So originally when I said we were going to colonize and we were going to cut them off from resources. So we just colonized this planet, and so within 4 or 5 turns, I've now managed to turn 2 of their mining bases against them, and they're now trading with me. So within 5 turns, I've just cut them off from half of those resources that they would have been getting on a weekly basis. So right now, our population has now grown to 108 billion people, and our treasury is sitting at almost 15 trillion credits.
Wow. How does the game handle negotiations?
It's pretty clunky. It's pretty clunky. Let's see. I'll do that. Let's see. Let's go down here and we'll talk to the Thalians. Okay, so now you're actually getting to look at the Thalians. Look at his beautiful face. And there you go. The Thalian.
Wow.
Yep.
Holy
You are
shit.
yeah. You are looking even better than usual. I mean, you look great. Not that I'm saying that you ever looked bad. Look, just don't hurt me. Okay, so what we're wanting is so we're gonna do an economic treaty. So they accepted the proposal, so now we are under a economic treaty, which is really good. That's like the extent of treaties. When you make economic or research treaties, they're not very far along with that to do this. You can officially declare war, you can surrender to them, which would end the game, or you can attack. Well, this one would be, if I tell them to attack, it would be a specific planet. We're not far along in negotiations or really working together as 2 civilizations to effectively do that, but those are just options. So we are under, let's see, shipyard, civilization, foreign stats. Okay, so here's another look. So of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major races, we only have encountered 3. The Thalians, Archeans, and Drengen. So the Drengen are our enemies, and the Archeans and the Thalians are who we are working with on becoming allies with. We are very close and friendly with the Archeans and Thalians. Their economy is average. Their military, it says strongest for all of them, but none of them have anything. So that will change immediately once we start developing a military. It will absolutely change. It will more than likely change for both of them to immediately weakest. just because since they're right now they're being very slow to expand outwards. They more than likely are also doing the exact same thing where they are not focusing at all on military. So we can do relations. So that's cool. So right now we are actually doing $86 billion a week in trading with them. That's how much we're spending on them. So, moving on. Interstellar Warfare. And Interstellar Warfare is done. Cool. So the next one, let's see. Oh, there was an update. I didn't realize that it actually changed this section of the tree. This tree is normally a lot more linear, not more actually split. That's really good. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do yeah, let's do logistics. So logistics, it'll allow us to build greater hulls. We've already researched and completed Interstellar Warfare. We've got to do a couple more until we get to weapons, and it's really only until we get to weapons and defenses that we can actually start building actually a military. The rest of it's just research. I've gotten it to where I've gotten the black hole gun and the doom ray, which are either a laser or some sort of rail, basically a driver, what's called a mass driver, or a rail gun on like a capital ship scale. But basically those weapons they're battle-ending weapons. You go into an engagement and it doesn't matter what the other ships have, it's done. The battle's over. It's actually pretty cool to watch because, especially with the black hole gun, yeah, it's awesome. Right at the beginning of the engagement, you just have like one capital ship go off. He fires it right in the center of the pack, and you see everybody gets sucked right into a black hole. It's awesome. It's devious, yes. Alright, so we have a freighter. We'll go back to our freighter. We're going to launch him, and we're going to send him to the Archeans. We're trying to establish more trade out to the Archeans because they're actually they're a ways off, but they could use some more trade, and we totally can use all the money we can get. Alright. Okay, so logistics. Alright, let's see. There we go. We're gonna do advanced hulls. Allow us to build bigger ships. Walleye. Send him out.
Have you ever had an opponent AI who also had a freighter where you had to go freighter to freighter? Because that sounds really cool.
Freighter to freighter?
Yeah. Freighter versus freighter. Like you versus an AI who also happens to have a sizable military with enough big ships to pose a threat, you know?
I have. It's the problem is that you can bump up the difficulty on the AI for the difficulty in the game, but the problem is that, and it's also been addressed, that Stardock is a little overzealous on their AI, and so anything past normal, I think this is on like tier under normal, but anything above normal, everyone does not like it. They actually complain about it because it's not realistic, because the technologies, the populations of the galaxy have become enamored with the obscure culture of the Archean Empire. Everyone everywhere are taking up the habits, dress, philosophies of their culture. As a result, their influence upon the galaxy has become immense. Sorry, I had to say it in that voice.
Yes.
Where the enemies will research the technologies faster, they build things faster, the economies grow faster, their ships get double, triple, or quadruple the amount of hit points that you normally would get at the same time. It's kind of like in the same time where if you're playing a game, World of Warcraft, perfect example. So World of Warcraft, you could have a raid. I'm assuming that's the correct name. You could have a raid that could last for 8 hours. And this is also involving multiple people. Like, I remember when I was in high school, this was back when World of Warcraft was insanely fucking popular. People were like getting kicked out of school because they were playing World of Warcraft so much. Where you have a person who is playing World of Warcraft and they are getting all their friends to play World of Warcraft. And all of them are at max level. And so all of them are at max level. Each one of them has their own special characteristics. They have so much health. They can do all these different amazing, cool things in the game. But then they go up against a boss at this raid, and instead of it being like you're insanely susceptible to damage, but you also do a high amount of damage because it's on hard, or if it's on a harder difficulty. Instead of it being that way for the boss as well, the boss is not only doing an insane, huge fuck ton of damage, but it's also the fact that the boss has an insane fuck ton of health. And the bosses end up becoming bullet sponges. It's not realistic, it's just frustrating, and for gamers like me, I find it annoying, and that's another reason why I have never played World of Warcraft. Because I hate that philosophy, that idea that, oh, we should totally do this and just give him an insane fuck ton of health. And it takes you hours with 30 people in your party to drain the health of one enemy. It goes way too far. And that's what happens in this where if you go past normal, everyone gets exponentially harder to go. And it's not just that, it's the fact you also do reduced damage, and so it makes it even harder. There's more obstacles in your way, and there's more things. I'm not saying it's impossible, but there's veterans who play this game, and they're like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm not playing this is stupid.
It just makes it way more tedious than it has to be.
Yes. So, let's see. Oh, we met the Iconians. Hail, human traveler. We are thankful that your wonderful invention, hyperdrive, has finally reached us. Now we can once more go into the stars and hopefully reclaim our worlds from the vile Yor. Alright, and there we go. Alright, so here's the United Planets. As the overall population of the galaxy grows, the rate of crime expands with it. Local holding facilities are reaching overflow, which is why the idea of a galactic prison is being voted on today. Criminals from all races will be sent to a single planet where security can be focused and criminals will be used as workers to fuel commerce. This would double local production for the next 3 years if the law were to be in effect. Alright, so this is also this is something where if you can vote on these things. But the cool thing is, if you notice down on the right next to our awesome logo, there's the orange, the large chunk of orange. That is on our little pie chart. On the pie chart, it shows that we literally have half. So what do we think would best be suited? So what I think is I'm going to tell them that the Drengen can house that. Actually, this would boost their economy. I almost made a fuck up. Honestly, I'd probably say the Thalians. The Thalians could use it. There we go. The Thalian Empire. So it didn't matter what they thought. I told them the Thalian, and the Thalian won. So I actually do have over half. Okay, so technology is at 712. We are doing an estimated 75% of the total research occurring in the entire galaxy. It's fucking sweet. Alright, so we got another freighter. Okay, There we go. Oh, sweet. So, if we just set up another trade route, our freighter from Taquito has arrived on a distant Archaea. It has established a new trade route with their civilization that private industry will maintain during times of peace. The estimated value of this route is between 17 and 53 billion credits per week, with the value being higher when the merchant vessels are further away from home port and less when closer. Okay, cool. And that will, I think we have 3 more that we are that we're shipping to, so that's good. Okay, so they're done there. So now we are. Okay, so there's still half, no more. Alright, colony ship Romulus got done. We'll ship all those people out. Okay, let's see. Ooh, oh yes, take that. Marak 3, a class 19. Ooh, yeah. I'll take that. Alright, so now our treasury is sitting at 25 trillion credits. We're just gonna keep going for a couple turns. Just kind of power through. Looks like we got another mining base under our control via our cultural domination. Looks like we are. Go ahead.
Well, treasury went from 10 to 25 trillion.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, I try to do a lot, a lot from my economy. First of all, because when it comes time to actually initializing or kicking off a war, I want to make sure that if I absolutely have to, I'll show you what it looks like for building a ship. So freighter got done. I think I'm actually almost at my trade limit route. If that's the case, okay, he is traveling there. Okay, cool. If we are at the trade limit route, I'll probably change him to something else. Okay, so we'll go to shipyard, and this is what our ships look like. So we got a scout, tiny little thing. We got a space miner. We got a freighter. That's what our freighters look like. We got our constructors. And constructors build star bases, and then you have colony ships. And these are all the ones that we have presently. Let's see. We can upgrade this. We can upgrade the ship, so like you can go in and you can actually add modules on here. So we can do like a cargo hull. You can add. Well, we're not gonna do that. We'll do done. Yeah, we won't mess with that. Okay.
The stream is on like a 15-second delay or something, so it's always like, okay, this is gonna happen. Okay, wait 15 seconds. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I know.
Which, please, why?
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. All right. So here we go. We got some colony ships going out. So each one of these is they're all turning. Colony ship done. Cool freaking beans. Class 10. I'm gonna start pushing out even further. Why I have not taken over those guys, I have no idea. Oh, we got another planet. There we go. Okay. The Terran Alliance, which is technically what we are. We are technically the Terran Alliance, but I changed ours. That's the name of the civilization that we're presently on, or the race. But I changed the name and whatnot, and so because of that, it resets it back to the Terrans aren't being used, and so they can be as enemies. So that's what their leader actually looks like. Anyway. Like, I can't wait to play Galactic Civilization 3, but I don't have a 64-bit system, so...
How old is this game, actually?
This game. 1 second. Let's see. Steam lists as it was released in 2011. I
Really?
doubt it. I feel like it's a little older than that, but this one was released in 2011, and then Galactic Civilizations 3 was released in 2015. And then let's see. Do
Yes, I mean, it seems like a very, very difficult game to master. And, I mean, yeah. Okay, if it was released in 2011.
Yeah. Alright, I gotta wait for it to load again. Yeah, my rig is it's an old rig. I've done everything I've done everything I can to upgrade this thing to where it can actually play games.
Let me see. Q6600 Core 2 Core
It's a Core 2 quad.
2.40 gigahertz. RAM 2 times 2 gigabytes. Oh shit.
Plus, it's a 32-bit system, so I can only use 3.5.
Oh my god.
And it's 800 megahertz too.
Oh my fucking god.
Yep.
Terabyte storage though.
Yeah. I've got several externals, a couple internals. It only has two. Well, it has a floppy drive bay. I tore that out. Yep. It has two 5 5.25 inch CD drives. I've torn out both of those, and both of those actually hold old laptop drives. And then there's two bays for standard 3.5 inch platter drives, and so I have two platter drives in there as well. I really need to turn off the Taquito's freighter build.
A drive anymore. Disk drive anymore.
Yeah, well, like my Mac, I've got a Mac, and it's a 2015. Well, I'm a web developer, so I use it for work. It's a Retina MacBook Pro. Yeah, I like my Mac. Well, it's like the best thing is get this. So my Mac, it gets, go figure, it gets 8 to 9 hours of battery life when I'm using it on pretty much every day. When I unplug it, I can get like 8 to 9 hours of battery life when I'm streaming, watching you guys, interacting, talking, doing whatever. But then I have it boot camped, and so boot camp means that you can use a Windows installation on the drive or on the system itself. It installs Windows, and you can use a Windows environment in its entirety on the system. The problem is that Windows is not power efficient at all. So when I am using Windows on my machine, I will get like an hour and 50 minutes of battery life on my machine. So
Okay, I know Macs. I mean, quality-wise, they are fine, but they are way more expensive than they should be.
yes,
Way more expensive. And
Yes.
why
they are also.
it's totally fine.
They're not. The quality is. It's a well built. I love my Mac. I love it. I hate it for gaming, but I mean I didn't buy it for gaming. But it is. It's. I mean it. I never had an SSD before I had my Mac, and I would love to put an SSD in this thing. I'm just honestly, I'm not even gonna bother upgrading this thing anymore because I can't go any higher on this thing. I have a 305 watt power supply that's going on 8 years old now on this machine,
Holy shit.
and it is welded into the case.
We need to get you a proper rig. Holy
So-
fucking shit.
So when I say I am doing the absolute best I can with my machinery,
That is the understatement of the century.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, might I say, you have a fabulous beard.
I thank you. Appreciate it.
Fabulous.
I know Panda likes it. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I'm so fucking jealous of that food you made, by the way. It looked so good.
Man, it was good. However, I probably will, next time I make it, I probably will change the lime, because the lime did not cook very well. I cooked the pork steaks in butter, but it did not sear well. Lemon sears perfectly in butter. If you do like a lemon or a squeezed lemon and pepper, like tilapia or cod fillet, oh my freaking god, it's delicious. But the problem is that lime. Okay, yeah, we have the maximum number of trade routes, so we're just gonna. Let's see. We're gonna upgrade him to Space Miner. That's another thing you can do on the fly. Is you can just tell them to upgrade to literally a completely different ship, and they'll change the ship. Anyway, with the fish and whatnot, and the lime. The lime, it had some flavoring. I think it just might have been the temperature I was cooking it at. But the problem was that the temperature that I was cooking it at, it just was too hot, and so it was searing and burning the lime. There was the sugar that's in the lime juice was caramelizing, and it was then burning, which ended up giving it kind of a burnt taste, kind of a burnt aftertaste. It wasn't horrendous, and it wasn't like overpowering or anything, but
Such a waste. Oh.
I mean, it was still good, but
Yeah, but it what could have been?
yeah.
Oh, it was within reach.
Yeah. But I like cooking. It also helps that I'm the stay-at-home dad, so.
Oh. Wait, what did you say? It also helps that?
That also helps that I'm the stay-at-home dad too.
That's so cool, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we want to make sure that my wife can finish her schooling and that she can start up her career. I started up mine, and I want to make sure she can as well. So we made that choice, and so hopefully within the next couple weeks she'll be able to. She's going to finish, and then we can work on finding out our next place that we're going to move to and start working in, and then hopefully we'll move to the EU or to the UK probably within the next year or two.
Awesome. So, aside from the UK, what country would you like to live in the EU?
Well, we've pretty much on the more like the peninsula. I wouldn't mind living in Wales. I wouldn't mind living actually in Britain itself. I wouldn't mind living in Ireland or in Scotland. I wouldn't mind living in Iceland, except that I'm a web developer and it's a little difficult to live in an island. But I've always wanted, both my wife and I have always wanted to live in a country that is predominantly non-religiously affiliated and or leans towards more of a liberal, open-minded mindset, either politically or religiously.
Assuming you both had bad experiences with America in this way?
Not really bad per se. I don't get along with my family due to my political preferences and my lack of religiosity. I know that's not a word, but whatever.
No.
So it's just I was raised. Both my wife and I were raised very conservative. Let's see. Okay, so I'll cut away from that for just a moment. So it looks like we now have spies. Yep, we have 15 spies. So this, meaning we have, so you'll see in just a second. The spies that are actually here, we will have to take them out one by one. The longer that they're there, the more resources or time it will take to build or research or do whatever. So we're gonna start spending some serious cash on spies, because we need to get them out as soon as we can. Okay. Basically, the long story short, we were raised conservative, and after moving out, we got married, and then we moved out, here to the Carolinas, and the Snaffy. Whoa! Greetings, tacos and burritos. I was reading up on your civilization. I hear that one time you thought that violence was a reflection of your primitive society. Well, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but the only reason I haven't killed you is because we're dozens of light years apart. What can I say? The Snaffy just like to kill things and look like an evil koala.
It looks so fluffy. I wanna hug them. I will hug them to death. It's so cute.
There we go. 3 weeks.
So
Good
cute.
time. Let's see. Colony ship. We'll send you.
They're basically the gremlins of this game, apparently.
Sort of like that, yeah. But anyway, I.
Don't fight them after midnight.
Yeah. Where were those planets I was looking at? They had some really juicy planets. Where are you? I know you're here. There you are. Upgrade you to a colony ship. Okay. And colony ship. Okay. Because of the differences, the way my family and myself view things, has caused a lot of problems with the family. Mostly it's like they won't agree on a choice that I'll make, or a parenting decision that I make, or they'll disagree with me on like some sort of Facebook or some stupid shit post that I'll put up.
Wow.
And it's just like, it really, in all honesty, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a bunch of bullshit. But my family is known for it. They hid a lot of things from me as when I was growing up, a lot of family things that were really, really, really fucked up.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Just some, I never knew the relationship of, I won't go into like personal details or anything, but basically it was like my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandfather is a Vietnam War veteran. When he went off to war, he had his mistresses and whatnot in Vietnam. He came back, started up his business, and then he ended up getting married to his secretary, which was my grandmother's best friend, and they never spoke to each other after that. But then, not realizing that my grandfather also tried to murder my grandmother multiple times, the same thing with my mother, and all of that I never heard about until I had already moved out of the house and had my own opinions.
Holy shit.
So, as I said.
Okay, first of all, the fuck?
Yeah.
Second of all, who the fuck cares what other people's religious opinions are?
Well, that's my family.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody is allowed to say what their opinion is, sure. But don't oh my fucking god.
Yep.
That is one of the most American things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it was dealing with a lot of stuff during high school and during those really rough growing periods, and then I kind of hit this stage. I hit this stage. I was working my second to most recent job, and I just started doing research because I was like, I was raised Christian. I have no idea what other religions actually believe. You know, I only get my news from certain places, and I don't actually take the time to verify this information. You know, I get all these different opinions. Why don't I actually look into them? And so I spent an entire year going through different religions and, looking through, reading texts. Some of them actually like trying to do like part-time practicing, or trying to do you might call it like soul searching, but basically just trying to see like, do I even, where do I fit? And I finally like, after a while you just come to realize like, I don't believe any of this shit. This is stupid. I believe more into the Mass Effect series or the Star Wars or Star Trek series than I do anything that's been thought up for religion-wise. And I went, and I think it was like for 2 months I tried practicing Wicca.
Nice.
I tried that, and it was interesting, and there was a lot of really cool things I learned, but the problem also was where I was living here in the United States. I never actually realized that it is somewhat quite dangerous to do.
In USA, yes, yeah.
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 It is just, oddly enough, they're like, oh, well, freedom of religion, freedom of this, but if it conflicts, or if we don't agree with it, shame on you. And I found that I didn't run into any problems, and like nobody confronted me, but I just found that out off of like multiple people who were running blogs and who I was in contact with. They're like, don't openly talk about it with people. Don't do this because people will, word spreads and this and that. I'm like, I'm not connected with anybody in the community. I don't talk with anybody. And they're like, it doesn't matter. People who live around you will find out. And it could have been a much worse situation than it was. Nothing happened, which was nice. Everybody was happy, and we left anyway. Tried.
I thought you were gonna say we lived happily ever after.
Yeah, and we left happily ever after. So it's just like it was really rough. I was dealing with a lot of emotional pain during that time. It was incredibly emotionally tumultuous for both my wife and I, because that was also during the time frame where we had our daughter as well. So it was a lot of rough time. And yes, very. So and then to give you an example, within the past year, so last year, this month, I quit my job that I'd been working there for over 4 years. I'd been working in a bank in South Carolina, a very large multinational bank.
It's really strike me as a person who would happily work at a bank. I don't know.
Just watch my facial reaction to that. You'll realize it.
Wait.
Just wait. Nope. Big old nope. And I went off and I wanted to be a web developer, so I went and completed my schooling and became a web developer. But in order for me to do that, my wife and I had to sell our house. So we sold our house, and we made some money off of it. Then I moved my wife and my kids back to KC, Missouri, which is 1,200 miles away from South Carolina. Moved them back with my parents for the duration of while I was going to school. I completed school. I moved back to KC with my wife and kids. And at that time, they were actually in an apartment that we had gotten. Then from there, we stayed there for a month and a half, moved back to the Carolinas, stayed with her parents for 2 months, then moved again to her sister's house, stayed with them for a couple months, and then we moved to the house or the apartment that we're currently in now.
Wow.
That has all been within the last year.
Holy shit.
So, you want to talk about crazy? I can do crazy.
But it's like I'm absolute. On one side, I am kind of horrified because I had to go through that. On the other side, it's like, holy shit! You both supported each other all the way through that, and that is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Holy crap!
we've been together since our sophomore year in high school.
Wow,
So
amazing.
we'll have been together for 11 years in October.
Holy shit! And how old are you again?
I'm 27.
Wow.
We've been together since we were 16.
Don't hear that often.
Nope. Love her to death. Absolutely love her to death. Let's see.
So, what are your plans for the near future then?
Well, for the near future, I'm still going to keep streaming. I enjoy doing this so much because I've been able to meet you. I've met Fallen, met Highline, met Gale, Radio, Panda.
You
You know-
weren't a part of the EOTP at first?
I started out, so the way it started out was, I had, it was actually earlier on today when we were all chatting when you guys were playing, and the guy, when I said Jamie, that other voice, and you're like, who's that?
Oh yeah.
That was Jamie, one of the guys that lives in Kansas City, one of my friends. Let's see, I just lost my train of thought. Jesus. Say that again.
So Jamie something?
Jamie originally was like, oh yeah, it was when his twin brother, he's one of my best friends, when he was getting married, he was like, oh yeah, I do commentary on Twitch, and so he was like, he bought all this hardware and built this awesome desktop, and he does all this really cool stuff, and he, was like, oh yeah, I do commentary, I record commentary over smaller streamers and whatnot if I can get authorization from them. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I've never actually even heard of that.
That's a great idea.
And he was like, he does it for like League of Legends of stuff, but he no longer does it, whatever. But he's like, oh, well, this is what I do. And so I remember we talked about it, and that was pretty much it. That was like two and a half years ago at this point. And then it was, I want to say about 2 months ago, I really hit like a really, really heavy depression. And I was like, I need to do something. I can't just sit at the house and not have a hobby and not do anything. Like, I can only play video games so much before I just die. I have to do something. And so I was just online, and I was like, oh well. I forgot how I actually ran across, but I ran across Twitch again. So I was just watching, and it was actually right around the time frame that they released the Final Fantasy VII remake announcement.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Let's see.
Everybody went ape shit about that.
Yeah. I wasn't too happy about it, but whatever. And so I was just watching around, and I was like, oh, I really want to watch Final Fantasy VII again, because I have Final Fantasy VII on my PS3, but I never get on my PS3 on the account that it sounds like a jet engine every time I turn it on. I hate turning that thing on, and so I never play it. So I was like, oh, I'll just, I'll turn this on, and I'll, see who's on. And I happened to fall, I don't like large streamers, because I joined a couple streams, and the problem is that you're on there, and every single time you just get drowned out in chat. Every single time.
True,
You don't actually get a word in edgewise, and I know that it's inevitable. Once you hit a certain phase, you really have to be quick and whatnot to respond to people who are, communicating with you in chat. I understand that, and that's just a fact of streaming. But it was like I was trying to join in like 500 or 600 streamer or viewer streamers, and I couldn't get an edge in. I wasn't really even following the conversation, and most of it was just nonsense. And so I jumped in. I went to the bottom of the list, and I found Fallen, and I started watching him, and I ended up I was like, oh, this is really awesome. Like, he's from the UK. His accent's a little goofy. I like it. I really like the people that are in his chat. It was actually all the guys, including Panda, was there, and I really liked the dynamic between all of them. And he was part of this group, and I started talking with him a little more. I sent him a friend request on Steam, and we started talking a little more. And then I want to say it was about a week after I was like, I want to try this. And so I went and I tried to do a couple streams. I actually got it to work on my Mac, because on my Mac I can play Borderlands 2 really well on my Mac, but the problem is I can't actually stream it with game audio, because Apple, in their infinite wisdom, due to software vulnerabilities to the core system, they have to lock down all audio codecs and all audio in the system. So I can't actually have gameplay on the system and have a video, basically. I can have my chat on the video, but the video is literally my chat, the video, and nothing else. So I was just like, oh shit. And so I started working on the desktop and bringing a couple things up to snuff, because I was already using it as as kind of an idea, or as a part-way gaming machine and whatnot, but it's just a clunker. It's an old piece of shit. So from there, he told me to get in touch with Highline. Highline's kind of our leader. He's the main guy. I got with him, and he's like, oh yeah, you just go over to the site and whatnot, and there's an application on the site. So I filled it out, and he's like, oh yeah, you filled it out? And he's like, yeah, and it took him I think a couple days to approve it. I think he was on holiday or something like that, but he approved it and whatnot. So I got accepted into the group, and I officially had only had one stream at that point. But at that point I was just I was really enjoying being around the guys, being able to talk with them, and it was it was them offering me advice or tips on how to do different things. And Highline did the graphics for me on my page, for the Phoenix logo. That's all Highline's work. He's helped me with doing a couple, all of that stuff. Tremendous amounts of help that they've been able to do. And the headphones I'm actually wearing, these puppies.
Awesome.
Those were actually donated by GameScroller to me. GameScroller, since he does indie reviews and he does hardware reviews, he was just like, oh well, here, I'll show you my other ones. I actually have them right in front of me. So here's my old ones. These things are actually 6 years old. These are Turtle Beach X12 Enforcers. Really? They are. Yeah. So these things are actually really nice. These are probably my favorite headphones I've ever had, besides the ones that are actually on my head right now. But very, very comfortable. They were actually really cheap. I needed them for the time being. But anyway, during the course of the many different moves, they broke. So you'll see in just a second. It's
Yeah,
completely busted. You'll see it actually swirling around. And so Gale was just like, oh, well, we need to do something about that. And so he sent me a tweet, and he's like, oh, yeah, well, what do you want? What you looking for? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, whatever you want, and whichever one I can buy off of you. He was like, oh, I won't do that. Just pay for shipping, and I'll send it to you, since you're part of the EOTP group. So I paid for postage for it, and he sent it to me, and it was like this godsend. It was awesome.
Wow.
And I will always sing Gale's praises, because he has been basically everybody from the EOTP group, because they have been not only incredibly supportive, but there has been so much help and so much knowledge that comes off of them that really helps me in this, that I enjoy doing this as a hobby. So that's I've only been on for 2 months, but as you can see, no one joins my channel because one, nobody wants to watch a very, very slow-paced game at 10 o'clock, or at your time, probably like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So let's see, yeah, it's 11:30 here.
It's almost 5:30 a.m. here.
Wow.
Yes.
So, but yeah, this is it's just a little bit about me, and this is so far my favorite game that I can play. I have other games that I really like playing, but I just can't play them presently.
I mean, it seems like I had never heard of the game before. It seems like it has semi-smallish community in the first place that plays it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So the community that plays this game, or that really, really likes playing this game, we are very small.
You are actually the only person streaming this game right now.
Sweet. Yeah. If you actually look up Galactic Civilizations 3, I think there may be only maybe 2 or 3, but they're, I think, either Ukrainian or Russian. So, yeah. Blown clouds at my face.
But I mean, it's like, as long as you really like doing it.
That's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's what I like doing, and I really, especially once I get an upgraded rig, I've got numerous games on my Steam wish list that, once I do get an upgraded rig, I'm buying all of those games. I'm setting aside an extra budget of $200 or $300, so that I can, buy some decent games that I really, really want to play. Not necessarily popular games, but just games I really want to play.
Wouldn't those 200 to 300 games be more well spent inside the rig itself?
No, in addition to the funds that I would be setting aside for the rig, this is additional funds.
Oh, I see.
Let's see, there's that. There you go, there's that.
Wait.
Okay.
And you're fucking donating to me? Come
Yeah.
on.
Why not?
I mean, you need the money.
I don't need the money.
I can send it back if you want.
No, don't be goofy. Don't be goofy. I did that because I enjoyed the stream.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I could help, I would. Seriously.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay. Well, it also will, I will hopefully be able to actually get off the ground here within the next couple months, or at least the next couple of weeks. My programming skills have kind of atrophied a little since I've gotten out of school, just because it took me so long to find a job. Then when I actually find a job, it was a little in over my head, plus I had kind of a douchebag of a boss who stiffed me.
If you have to practice or re-practice programming anyway, why don't you stream a couple just creative streams?
I'm going to.
Because that would also be actually really great.
because I created a profile on I think it's livestreaming.co. I think. I forgot the official name of the website, but it's basically a website for kind of everything. But I have it was the back-end professor at the school I went to. He actually does live codings on there as well. And we're just colonizing everything. He does live streamings on there of coding and on projects that he winds up wanting to do. And so I was just like, I enjoy streaming, I enjoy doing this, and I already have all my settings in OBS already set up so that if I switch over, it's like it really is it's a non-issue. It's just trying to. It's a lot easier playing a game for a couple minutes, like an hour or so every other day or whatnot. But it's a little more difficult because it's getting resources and getting the technology set up so that I can stream because. I can stream from my PC. This is what I'm streaming from right now, on my desktop, very, very easily. But it's more difficult per se from my Mac because I can't use my headset. My headphones are a little shoddy, just a little more difficulty tech-wise in streaming from my Mac. Although my Mac is more powerful, like my Mac has an i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and an SSD. It does not stream very well. So, anyway, let's see. So, let's.
This might sound really, really stupid, but I've seen people who just remove the OS from the Mac entirely and just put Windows on it.
Well, I've thought about that, but I really like using the Mac and OS. I know. The thing is that this PC, it's running Windows 10, but I also have another hard drive that has Ubuntu on it, and I also have a Mac, and it's running Windows and OS X. For doing web development, I prefer using my Mac over my desktop a lot more. Because I have all the connectors to actually have a triple monitor setup for my Mac. So my main desktop, my main Mac screen, and then I have two 23-inch monitors. Or I should say, my wife's using one of the 23-inch monitors, and I have a little 20-inch monitor, an old Dell workstation monitor. But once she's done with school, I get my monitor back. But it's using my Mac, I like it's more shortcut oriented for when I'm working. It's more shortcut oriented, and then when I'm actually working, I understand the terminal much more readily in either Linux or in OS X, since it's Linux or Unix based rather than .NET based. I've never had a whole lot of training within Terminal on .NET, but I have had training on Terminal in Unix. So I can navigate the OS, and I can navigate folders, manipulate things, create things, destroy things via the terminal on the Linux distribution or on my Mac, but not my desktop. So.
God damn it, that sucks.
Yeah, well, it's my life.
Yeah. Damn it.
It is what it is. I'm not complaining about it because my Mac was a work purchase. So its main focus was for work, and so just because I can't play games on it, that's not an issue at all. Since it was a work it was a work purchase, that is what I use it for. So I have all of my work programs. I have, it's what I also watch all my streams through, but I have all my software through it. I have all of my email addresses pumping through it. I have all of my server accesses to my personal web page, and then other web pages that I do webmastering for. All of those are in SSH logins directly into Finder window. I can, I have TeamSpeak on it, I have Steam, I have a whole bunch of other stuff. But then I also have a ton of stuff that's built in that you don't see at all. It's command line stuff that I have installed that it's taken me, over the past year to acquire. Plus, not to mention, I have probably another $400 or $500 in software that I have that is that's OS X proprietary.
Jesus.
So, but then again, it's all of that is also work-related software.
Yeah.
So, there's Windows equivalents of it, but whatever. Space mining. Okay, master hull building. I'll do that. So we are almost at the point where we are about. Let's see. So from here, the next step is we are going to start building up a military, because right now we're sitting. Let's see. We're sitting at a nice, very, very nice 63 trillion credits. With a total population cap of 231 trillion citizens.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so like our weekly expenditures. So right now we have an income of 1.64 trillion credits a week, and we spend 1.02 trillion credits a week, which net us 626 billion credits a week.
That's amazing.
So we are making some serious bank. That is also partly because of all of the plethora of colony ships. As we're chatting, I'm literally sending colony ships everywhere. That way, it's literally tons and tons and tons of planets that are underneath our purview that will net us a ton of money. Okay, so it's fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to our research, and we're going to go down here and we're going to do space militarization. It's only going to take 7 weeks, and we can actually burn through those really quick. I'm just going to launch these guys to any planet we can. And the reasoning why we're going to do that is we are going to see, you'll see a ton of them over on the right hand side. You'll see a ton of notices for ship designs that will become available. When a ship design becomes available, meaning that we have researched far enough into a tech tree that allows us to build a new ship design. And right now, another reason why our economy is also growing is the fact that we are getting rid of these foreign agents as well. So let's see, trade. We're doing a ton. Right now, we're pulling in an additional 434 billion credits a week in just trade alone.
Wow.
Let's see. Let's think. Domestic, not that. Okay, so colonies. Okay, so see all these? Like, we're seeing a ton of red. Mine. Let's see. Let me try refreshing. Okay, so you'll probably see in just a second. It is a ton of red.
Oh wow.
A ton. But the really cool part is that you go up and yes, technically there is a ton of red, but the problem, the reasoning why is that a lot of these, they are brand new colonies. They're brand new. So all of these up here, these are established colonies. Every single one of them is at max population or higher, or are just about to hit it, and all of them are positive. Some of these are also when they're building planets, and so the building planets will also have somewhat of a negative financial outcast, or I should say outlook. But you see all of these, they are all on the initial building stages. This guy, not so much. He's done. Romulus, see, like, this is a building planet. Walleye, building planet. Pern, building planet. Taquito, building planet. But these are negligible amounts. So, managing risks, trying to maximize the rewards. We're just going to quickly do this. We can just get that out of the way. Okay, so... Cool, space militarization has now been completed. Now we're going to do space weapons. Yeah, space weapons. Colony ship. See, it's coming from Walleye. Walleye has... It's a development planet. It's a building planet. So we're going to have naturally a higher deficit on that planet. Okay. Make another turn. Another colony ship. Come on. Keep going. Another planet. There we go. Sweet! There we go. Okay. That one's going to be building for a really, really freaking long time. So, let's go back to our main planet. So this is Taquito, our main planet. We can go into build ship down here at the bottom. When we click it, it'll show us the cost, maintenance, total attack, total defense, hit points, speed, range, blah 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 blah. There's a secondary button that's on here. If you just select it, it will tell you the build time, how long it will take in turns to build that ship. So right now it's listing a colony ship can be built every 5 weeks at our current rate. But if we selected buy now will list different options. This is an immediate purchase. So you click the selection, you click accept, and then the next time you click turn, that ship will be ready and waiting for you in your star dock, ready to go. It is expensive, but once again, this is another reason why we push up, why we really start to get the economy really going, because later on, this stuff, if this needs to happen, so say like we go and we buy a dreadnought, sometimes those dreadnoughts need to be built, and they need to be built now. You can't wait 70 weeks for it to be built. You buy it now, it is $17 trillion.
Oh my god.
One ship is $17 trillion. I've seen them as high as $30 trillion. So, that's another reason why you want to get a solid economy and a solid base underneath the entire system. That way later on, when it does come time, I am almost done to space weapons. Now space weapons should be done, and bam. So now we have new ship designs. We have Defender, Battle Axe, Star Fury, Destroyer, Phoenix, are now all available to us. So now, we go in, and we're going to do Planetary Invasion. That's for 30. Oh, it's going to take 35 weeks to get done, but we'll do that. Okay, so new designs are now available. So we really do have all these. So we now have a destroyer. We have the thing is that when you first start out, you can make all the ships you want. You can have like some serious firepower on these ships, but none of them have defense. None of them. So every time you go into battle, they are sitting ducks every single time. So we are going to wait on those. We're also going to wait on. We have to wait, unless we can get lucky with the completion. This thing. Actually, let's switch that. Let's switch. Yeah, defense will only take 2 weeks. The other one's going to take like 40. LORAD's done. Done. That's fine. You just keep yakking. Yak. as Edna states in The Incredibles.
Oh my god, that was a great movie.
It was a good movie.
There's the second one coming out in a couple of years. I am so hyped. Hype is real.
Hype.
Hype.
Yeah, I would never actually do that. In real life, I never did that until like I started talking to Gale. Gale was just like, he's literally just like, hype this, hype that, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, hype, 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 hype. And I was like, okay, here we go. Okay, so now we have new designs. So now these new designs. So now if you actually see them, you'll see in just a second. So we now have like the Defender, and we now have a Defender Mark II and a Phoenix Mark II. And the Mark II means that it's the secondary edition. So the secondary edition now has a beam attack and it has a shield attack as well. But then again, they're also a lot more expensive to make. So let's see. Once I get done with this planet,
Is the maximum edition the ship can get to like Mark 6 or?
I have no idea because I've never reached it. I've ended the game where I've gotten to ships to like Mark 3, and then I've gotten some where it goes up to like Mark 30.
Oh.
Okay, so we're gonna build a ship, and we're gonna do destroy. 17. We'll do a destroyer. So buy now, $4 trillion. If we wanted to buy a destroyer right now, it'd cost $4 trillion.
And how many weeks do you have to wait?
17.
17?
17 weeks. Comparatively speaking to the 6 weeks or the 5 weeks that it would take with a colony ship. Okay, so now we have deflectors. Ooh, enhanced deflectors. Cool. Got 2 actually done in the same time. That happens actually sometimes. No tax. Yeah. None of you motherfuckers want taxes. I think that's the thing that everybody is like, well, we want to pay for this. We don't want to pay for it. It's like this really stupid idea that, especially here in the States, like in all reality, you have conservatives and you have liberals, and you'll obviously have varying shades of both. But the problem is that with conservatives literally they want to shut down so much stuff. They do not want to pay for anything, but they will more than willing pay for warfare. Absolutely, every time they will absolutely pay for it every single time. Mm-hmm. They would willingly go to war, create more problems than it ever solves, spend way more money than it would ever be worth it, and then have the gall to say that paying teachers more is wasteful.
Yeah.
I know I probably just pissed off somebody who is watching this at home, Texas somewhere.
I mean, you're completely right. That is something very, very American. I mean, I don't think that stuff would happen as often in the EU.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's just it's so weird.
Stupidity.
That stuff is so common in the USA.
Yeah. Well, it's
like a culture shock.
Well, like in the U.S., it's very common for teachers to I'll just give a little insight. The place I was working at, I was getting paid before tax $31,000 US a year, and I was actually supporting a lot of people off of that. But teachers get paid about 32. and they have to, in most states, they have to acquire a master's degree to be able to teach
Which is
in that
already
state.
very expensive in the USA.
Yes. Very, very expensive.
Yeah. Like
Um,
student loans for the rest of your life almost.
Yeah. So like
Which is
my dad is a doctor.
wow.
That's another interesting part. Like, he's a doctor, and yet he believes the things he believes is ridiculous. But the interesting part is that he went to school before I was even born. He was not able to pay off his student loans he has his own practice. He has his own office. He does very, very, very well for himself. Both he and my mother. But it took him almost 20 years to get them paid off.
Oh my god.
By the time he had them paid off, my wife and I had already been married for 2 years.
What does the government do with all that money? Put it into more war?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
USA, you've done fucked up.
Yep.
Also, healthcare? What healthcare?
Yeah, don't even get started on that.
Oh my god.
What healthcare? The single payer system? Pfft, that's a joke.
Then it's like, then the other parties are like, oh yeah, these people should all get a chance, they should all be able to study, but we will not be paying for it. Huh?
Yep. Yeah. For a while before... So what? We have grown significantly. So like now, if you actually look where I'm circling my mouse, we have a lot of place.
Yep.
We have a lot of growing.
Also, you're kind of circling in the yellow, green, and purple ones. Kind of circling everybody in.
Not really them. They're all kind of clustered in. Yellow, they're really expanding. Green is actually starting to really expand. Purple, they've probably doubled or tripled their size. Red has not done anything. Which is
You can limit the amount of space they take up when fuck. Yeah, English is not my native language, by the way. It's just when expanding by forming a wall in the space, in the empty space in the middle.
Yeah.
They kind of limit where they can go.
Well, with how I am building all of this, basically, the way I'm building this, this. Okay, it was just let's see. Okay. Oh, cool! We completed Mass Driver. Awesome. Now, if only that could have happened for Planetary Invasion, that would have been awesome. Okay, so basically, the way it's working is it actually, if you're actually looking at the screen right now, you'll actually see that the Drengen, their influence is so weak that the mere presence of a nearby Patrolokos colony is completely pushing out their influence. So you'll see the red, and then our burnt orange. Burnt orange is actually pushing out their red. So here, let's see, let's find.
Damn.
Defender. God, why isn't Destroyer getting an upgrade? That's annoying. Battle Axe, Phoenix. Okay, so... Oh wow, the Phoenix will take no time at all. Good God. Okay, so we're going to stop building there, because we don't really need to... We're not doing anything there. Lots and lots and lots of markets. Gotta have money. We are at $83 trillion.
Nice.
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 Treasury hype.
But yeah, it
Thanks, Gail.
was kind of like the Scrubs thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's kind of Gail's thing. He enjoys doing that, and he's gotten me doing it. Thanks, Gail.
Thanks, Obama.
I just love it when people do that. But then like, it makes it even more funny when they actually like believe it. Like they're like, "Thanks, Obama, for ruining the economy." Like, really?
Obama's reaction on that?
Yeah. It's now a meme at this point.
Yes, it's just like,
What the fuck? There was another one. It was
but what did he do? Like, did he drop his cookie in his or something? In his, it was something like that. He was eating something, or he was dipping something inside a glass of milk. And it was just like he drops it, and it's like, thanks, Obama.
well, it's like there's like here in America, like one of the yes, we completed it. Oh yes.
Did you see the trend on Twitter like yesterday? I think called Bernie Sanders.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, go Bernie. That's who I'm voting for this election cycle. Go Bernie.
Fuck Trump.
Oh yeah. Well, basically fuck anybody in the Republican nomination.
And
It doesn't matter. Anybody on the Republican ticket, they can all go to hell. They're all idiots.
I think there's so many people who will plainly just move out of the USA if Trump wins. I mean, it almost looks like Trump was going for like, okay, how far can I get this? Oops, accidentally joined the fucking presidential campaign. Oh, I'm actually winning. Holy shit.
Yeah, you'll see my facial reaction to that too. Just a second.
Oh, hello.
Me? Yeah, I do not want any single one of those candidates from the Republican Party to win, because none of their policies would actually work. They are all xenophobic, they are bigoted, they are racist, they're misogynistic, and they're all predatory. They are all predicated upon upon their religion, and that's it.
The weird thing is, Bernie.
Hey, it works.
Bernie Sanders is like one of the oldest people
Mhm.
who are, and he, for some reason, I mean, you would think that as one of the oldest, he would have the most, the strongest opinions about those kind of things, no?
Well, the thing is that he's very chill, but he does have some very strong opinions. But another reason why he isn't very popular is the C word. He's considered a communist. See, I knew you were gonna go to something else, so that's why I said communist.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't
Cunt. No, he's a communist, and so here in America, like, have you ever heard of the term like the Red Scare or McCarthyism?
No, I don't. I haven't.
Well, yeah, that probably, if you were to actually hear that probably would have been in like some sort of history class in school. Basically, what McCarthyism or the Red Scare was during a period in United States history when not only the government but the social populace was frightened the fuck of the spread of communism. That's when Cuba came under communist control. That's when China was starting to become a world power. That's when North Korea started becoming a world power, or at least started becoming supported by the Russians. That's when the rise of Russia was really starting to take hold. That was after World War II, after Korea. It was before the Cold War and the lead up to the Cold War. But it was kind of like this, kind of like the Spanish Inquisition, where somebody could accuse you of being of being, accusing you of being a red or accuse you of being a communist. And a lot of times, if that actually happened, there really was no recourse. It was a very bad thing, and even to this day, in a lot of places, considering yourself a liberal communist, or considering yourself as a socialist, is a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing because there's different levels of it. It's not like the level that Stalin or Mao or Lenin, I guess both Stalin and Lenin, but also Mussolini, not the level that they took it to, where it was like for them it was the abolishment of any religion whatsoever. It was the complete upheaval of the entire population's religious beliefs. That's not what people want. There were
taking anything too far is bad.
Yes, it's everything in moderation, and so there are people in the Conservative Party that abhor the word communist or abhor the word socialist. But the problem is that we live in a very socialist society, at least here in America. The reason why I say that, and what I have to back that up, is that our taxes pay for schooling. My taxes pay for for the schooling of the children that are in my apartment complex. That's a fact of life. My taxes go also towards paying for a library that people can go to free of charge, paying for books, paying for audiobooks. My taxes go towards paying for social programs such as buses or public transport, subways, whatever. That all goes towards all of this, bettering the society that we all live in. Mm-hmm. And so, if you are saying, "Oh, well, we don't want that. That's dumb. That's a waste of money." Well, if you're saying that, you're excluding a vast majority of the population that's in the area that doesn't have the funds. They don't have the means to do that. And the prime example is, I actually have a neighbor who lives 2 doors down. She's destitute. She's in abject poverty. Her ex-husband is in jail for attempted murder of her.
Holy shit.
She is narcoleptic. She has diabetes. She has numerous other ailments. She is on public assistance. She's on welfare. She has all of her money, and I mean all of it, goes towards paying rent. All of it. She also has Medicaid or Medicare payments. All of that money goes towards paying for medications to keep her alive.
Holy shit.
She is a human being, and she as a human being deserves the chance to live.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so there are people in the United States that see that she is a human being, that she doesn't provide enough, and so therefore she doesn't deserve the chance to have those abilities or have those programs provided to her.
But if she was granted those things, she would eventually become better and would be able to.
If she had the ability to, she would go to work, but she can't since she's a narcoleptic. She also has a daughter, but she cannot afford a vehicle, and so she and her daughter cannot go anywhere. She is stuck at her house every day, all day. She has to, she can't afford to ride the bus because the bus is too expensive. I mean, that is the level of some of the people that I live around, and I feel for those people, and I try to take care of those people the best that I can. It's not like I'm putting myself out by helping others in. I obviously take care of myself first, but I take care of myself and my family first. But it is, let's see.
Actually, basically, since that event, it's been so ingrained in the population that that's a bad thing. That it's almost like being brainwashing the entire population.
It's basically a bad thing to be poor.
Well, most of the people can't do anything about it. There will be some people who it's their own fault, but still.
Well, like there was, I think it was Sweden. I want to say like a month ago, Sweden announced that they were, basically creating this living stipend off of everybody because they wanted to take the pressure off of people to, they have to do these, things so that they can survive. They want all of the citizens to be able to survive. I didn't really do a whole lot of research into it, but I was just like, oh, that's really, really interesting topic to kind of like to bring through and to kind of push through the legislature, because no one else does it. And I was listening to it, and I think it was on NPR, which is it's National Public Radio, and they said, let's see, looks like we have some buildup. We got some military buildup. Okay, so we got down here these guys and these guys. They've got some buildup as well. They've got looks like they've only got one defender so far. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I'm sure you've heard of a company called Walmart. Of course. So Walmart in the States it's interesting because Walmart is very big on paying its employees. They have probably hundreds of thousands of employees at this point. They have a lot. But they are very adamant on paying their employees minimum wage. But the problem is that since you have employees that are on minimum wage, they are also the number one recipient of government assistance funds because companies. So say you're an employee and you are now in the equivalent, it's called multiple things, but it's like food stamps. So say you're on food stamps or you're on some form of government assistance. You have to declare that to your employer because your employer has to notify the government that they have destitute or impoverished employees working for them, which the company is like because they know that you can't leave no matter how shitty they treat you. But it allows the company hold on one second. It allows the company to be able to collect money from the government as like assistance for the company to help the employee or whatnot.
Right.
So, in essence, one of the largest employers in the United States receives a ton of money from the government to be able to employ people at a poverty level so that they can get more money as a corporation. But they also have several of their headquarters located overseas to evade taxes in the United States. I think it was Pfizer. There was a report that was on Reddit last week that said that Pfizer, which is a pharmaceutical company, if Pfizer was to relocate their headquarters to their other site, which is in Ireland, if they were to relocate their site to Ireland, they would save, in 1 year, they would save $36 billion in taxes.
Whoa.
$36 billion in taxes.
That whole thing is both genius and abhorrent.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So.
That is corrupt. Oh my fucking.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So anyway.
Wow.
Let's see. No, not really.
Because it's exploiting the holy shit. Wow.
Colony ship. Okay, so we need to. We're gonna find this one. We're gonna find this and see if we can find. Okay, so we're gonna do this one thing. We're gonna build him. Once this guy is built, we are going to do our first invasion. So we now have topped 100 trillion credits.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I think you might be a little disappointed though at the planetary invasion, just because it's not very like graphically oriented.
Nah, it's fine.
Transport. Okay, so transport done, and
If I cared about the graphical spectacularity of the game, I would not be here.
true. Okay, so we got that. Oh, looks like the Thalian has declared war on the Yor. Okay, cool. Awesome.
It's going down. Alright.
Okay, they did that. Okay, so they did declare war. One more. Oh, they did. They declared war on the Drengen. Awesome. Sweet. Alright, one more, and... Where is our transport? Okay, we're just gonna buy it. This is ridiculous. Ding. Transport's done. Okay, so we're gonna send him up there. They have quite the build-up. We didn't have to do anything. Awesome. They surrendered to our allies.
What the
We
fuck?
literally weakened them to the point where they could not survive.
Holy shit.
Awesome. Alright. Well, I think that's a perfect stopping point for tonight.
Savage.
That was awesome.
Holy crap.
Alright. Well, sweet.
Oh my god.
Well, alright, so let me switch the scene. Just give me a moment. Thank you all for joining tonight's stream, as we somewhat conquered the Drengen Empire, by just literally weakening them so much that they could not survive under the mere threat of war. So, anyway, I have been Bad of You. My guest commenter has been Codex. If you've enjoyed the stream at all, feel free to give us, or to give myself a, I keep wanting to say like. If you like tonight's stream, feel free to just hit the follow button and also turn on notifications, and also feel free to go follow Codex as well. She's a wonderful commenter. She's a wonderful streamer. She does Call of Duty. She does a whole bunch of other stuff, also Rocket League, with all of us at EOTP as well. So feel free to jump in on her games and comment and chat with her. Yeah, so thank you very much for any of you who will join, or who joined, and for any of you who watched, and have a wonderful evening, you guys. Night.